After I graduated from the University of British Columbia's medical school, I was told that it was a great thing that being the first female First Nations student to graduate from their School of Medicine, becoming the first, what I've been told, female Indigenous general surgeon in Canada, again, sort of something that people celebrated. It's really, in a way, you can look at it as one of many people that graduated that day, and perhaps really something that society should look at a little bit differently before celebrating a gap and before celebrating an absence of Indigenous physicians or Indigenous surgeons or Indigenous healthcare providers.
She was struck by the fact that Indigenous people were not being referred for transplantation in the same way that those from the rest of the population were. So she taught us about equity right from the beginning.
I think any of us who hold Indigenous ancestry have either been affected directly or have had family members affected directly by colonization and by extension, sort of the colonial impacts on healthcare. We had 12 Indigenous medical students in my cohort. And, you know, we would hear about these Indigenous doctors that were doing big things, you know, sort of our role models who are out there. And Dr. Caron is very much one of them. And she really blazed a trail long before we had sort of arrived on the scene as students.
Dr. Caron has devoted, I would say, a fairly large part of her career to date in addressing health system disparities. And one of the ways that Dr. Caron is pursuing this is through the establishment of a biobank in the north that will bring research to populations in northern BC, including Indigenous populations, we hope.
What's different about the Northern Biobank Initiative is that involving Canadians in the north, in rural communities, Indigenous Canadians, and in the space that I'm in, First Nations Canadians, they haven't had an opportunity to be part of a biobank. There's no community biobanks. And so for the most part, the majority of research done in the field of genomics, which is just amazing and really revolutionizing cancer care in the world that I work in, people in the north just never really had an opportunity to be part of it.
The Silent Genomes Project is an important cross-Canada project. Not everyone realized that Indigenous people were being left out when it came to having equitable genetic care.
Dr. Caron is a fantastic mentor. I would say that Dr. Caron provides mentorships not only to trainees, but to colleagues, to governments, to research programs, to leaders of those programs.
Excited to see her recognized in a big way like this, that also sees and celebrates who she is and what she's done. That's gratifying, but it's also hopeful. It makes me feel more optimistic about the future.
When I walk into the OR, that's my basketball court. I got my teammates, I got the people that are all working together, and I've got the coach, the patient that expects the best.
Trailblazing surgeon, championing Indigenous health equity with a pivotal Indigenous biobank, reshaping policy and medical education for future generations. Canadian Medical Hall of Fame Laureate, Dr. Nadine Caron.